Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. Unless you guys are new to the channel, then welcome all of you beautiful new people. We have an absolutely amazing community. Hopefully you enjoy the content. Hopefully you enjoy the attitude, the vibes, the atmosphere here. I love talking about cryptocurrency, and today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and we'll be talking about Orchid. I didn't see any big movements really taking place as far as other cryptos to try and highlight for today's video. So we're just going to go ahead and stick to these two for today's episode. But I got a lot of cool things that we're going to be taking a look at, one of which I'm going to be adding something new in this video that I haven't actually done before. We're going to take a highlight look at what's going on Twitter and what you guys are saying, and I'm trying to get from a couple different perspectives on it. So again, just trying to do the best that I can to find a median zone. This is going to be in regards with Orchid. There was one very bullish statement that was set over for Bitcoin. We have limited amount of time. Well, not really. I mean, technically we could talk as long as we want on this stuff, right? But I'm trying to be a little bit more structured with things. So if you guys enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up like button. It would really help us out on the channel and help the discoverability of this. So if you find it valuable, I'm sure other people would too. Make sure you hit that like button, please. We can get to 50 likes at least on this video. Would be absolutely amazing. And if you click the bell notification, you'll know when we go live. So first thing, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on with Bitcoin. And we take a look at the charts here. You can see on the daily, it had a bit of a drop off, but it is recovering here pretty nicely. In fact, if you look on a 15-minute time frame, you can see it's starting to have a bit of a climb up. So make that little side note as you're watching my video right here, 15,650. Let's go ahead and talk about the articles, and then we'll come back to the actual chart itself. First of which, Bitcoin fees plummet as mempool clears to zero. This is absolutely great news for a couple key reasons. I'm going to go ahead and read those to you guys right now. The Bitcoin network mempool shrank to its smallest size since mid-October this week after the network's hash power soared. The hash power actually soared because a lot of the different equipment that was over in China was shut down as they were moving their equipment to another location. Now that that's been brought back up, it's affected the system. So the spike in hash power has been attributed to reactivation, as I said, from Sichuan after the end of the province's rainy season. Bitcoin's hash rate increased by 42% over a two-day period, November 9th and 10th. Now, the average Bitcoin transaction fees had reached a peak previously of $13.16. That's not good. A lot of people were complaining. They're saying like, oh, you know, this is a sign that Bitcoin's future, it's not going to be able to scale as well as what you guys are saying, because just look at how high the transaction fees are. Like, nobody wants to use something that has outrageously high transaction fees. And a lot of times people talk about, especially on Twitter, how like, oh, Nano doesn't get enough credit because look, it's got like no transaction fee at all, right? And yeah, having a low transaction fee is obviously an ideal thing. And a $13.16 per transaction is, it hurts. It hurts bad. That was back on October 30th when more than 140,000 transactions were pending in the mempool. But as of the time of the writing when they made this article, there were approximately 6,000 transactions in the mempool with a median fee of 3 satoshis per byte, or roughly 11 cents. And there were actually some users that were reporting fees as low as 1 satoshi per byte for transactions that have confirmed within a few hours. So, you know, that's a significant improvement for sure. And it just goes to show you that even with the prices that we're at, things can change. This is one of those variables that can change. And if it's happened once, it can happen again. This is where patterns start to submerge, submerge? No, that would go down. Emerge. Why couldn't I think of the word? Oh my gosh. This is where it starts to emerge and really kind of reveal itself that, yeah, things can change. And if they happen once, it can happen again. And I mean, that's beautiful. It's not zero. It's not like a 1 cent guarantee type thing. But hey, 11 cents compared to $13.16, that's a lot more understandable in my opinion. Very interesting news with this, right? And so going on to the next article, I'm going to go ahead and be clicking these off as we move through them. So the next article is highlighting Bitcoin is likely to consolidate before December rise toward $20,000. So I highlighted this green. You might be wondering, well, why? If it's in a consolidation space, that means the price isn't going up, right? Wouldn't that be kind of like neutral news? You got to look at it from a couple different angles though, right? So as much as we want the price to go up, if the price just goes up and up and up and up and up, then it starts to get to the point where that bubble's more likely to pop, and then it's going to be a major pullback. That's what happened when it pushed to $20,000. So what would you guys rather prefer? It to hit $20,000 really fast and more than likely pop and go all the way down, and then now everyone's skeptic again and wondering if like 20K is actually the hard cap limit for this, or for it to get really close and we go sideways for a while? And then as it steadily progresses its way, it passes 20K. And anything that's a pullback, it's just a little bit of a pullback, right? I still expect people to be selling off at the 20K range just because out of fear, the FOMO of missing out. I mean, fear of missing out technically for the gains too, right? But people start to get greedy, and if it can break above 20K, which who knows, some people might throw in a nice little curveball and have like buy orders ready to go because they know that people are going to be trying to sell it off and they're going to be trying to prop that price up. So yeah, you want to buy at lower prices, but hey, if you can keep the momentum going and the price is going to keep going from other people, right, then you're going to end up gaining more in the long run anyways. And that's the idea, is after 20K, there is no roof. We don't have anything for a limitation. So just imagine if it did something absolutely unbelievable, right? People win the lottery, and people that got in at the very beginning with Bitcoin, a lot of people are like, man, I wish I would have gotten in there and this and that. Can you just imagine the look on somebody's face? Maybe it's your face. Maybe it's somebody that's watching right now. Can you imagine the look on somebody's face knowing what the price is right now? And imagine if somehow 2 months from now, it was already $100,000 because just some new adoption came in, because some other major players came forward and they talked about it, or some sort of organization said, hey, we're all coming together and we're working on this, or saying, hey, let's bring Bitcoin into this thing. Let's bring it into this space and then show how much value it has here, right? Just imagine some piece of news that could just be groundbreaking and really take the amount of the adoption that Bitcoin is currently at to a completely unprecedented level. It's hard to be clear to see those kinds of moments, but the reality is that the unexpected happens. And the question right now is, are you prepared for if that does happen? And yes, I understand as well that it could not happen. It could go down more, right? But 98.5% of everybody that's invested in Bitcoin as of right now has made a profit. I just bought a little bit more Bitcoin right before this video. So about 15 minutes ago, I'm now in more profit even on that little bit that I just spent. So, it's an absolutely phenomenal time to be looking for an investment opportunity. And, this is why we do the research on things, and you got to be prepared for things. And just remember, as an investor, never invest more than what you're willing to risk to lose, okay? Or what you're willing to lose. And also, just, quick side note, I'm not a financial advisor, guys, so don't ask me specifically what you should invest in or shouldn't invest in, all that kind of stuff. I'm sharing news information with you guys from other resources. I'm doing some technical analysis, but if you're really wanting to make a good judgment call, you should always do further research in this stuff as well. But hopefully you do enjoy this content. Once again, if you are enjoying it, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like. Sorry if you hear the noise in the background. That's my roommate's dog walking around on the hardwood floor. Anyways, so this $20,000, another key thing to go ahead and touch base on this is that when you go into that consolidated phase, there's something that we should be kind of prepared to see. A consolidated phase may mean that some of the movement of gains, the altcoins, guys, that could be a really good opportunity here. Echoing Thomas's comment, Patrick Hauser, however you say it, probably Hauser, senior cryptocurrency trader at Zurich-based crypto broker AG, expects Bitcoin to consolidate in the range of $14,000 to $16,000 in the next few weeks. However, he expects the pause to allow a rally in alternative cryptocurrencies, much of which have lagged Bitcoin in the past 2 months. So what do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments down below. Next thing here, Bitcoin and crypto brace for a European central bank bombshell. This could be huge. I mean, it's a couple days that they're working on with this. So hopefully it's going to turn out on the positive. And there's some good indications here suggesting that it's more likely to be on the positive. And I'll go ahead and explain those now. Cryptocurrency traders will be on the lookout for remarks from senior central bankers as to how central bank digital currency CBDC research and development is progressing and how governors expect CBDCs to impact existing digital currencies like Bitcoin. Central bank digital currencies will be a net positive for Bitcoin. Richard Paulson, the chief executive of Oslo-based Arcane Media and Research, said via email, explaining how he expects CBDCs to affect Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets and use. The structure of a CBDC is the retail markets will definitely be in the form of a token. This also means that for it to work as a payment method, payment solutions have to be changed from today's analog world to a truly digital one. This will make it much easier for e-commerce to switch between CBDCs and Bitcoin on each individual transaction. Furthermore, another statement that was said is this is an unstoppable trend, said Nick Jones, the chief executive of Edinburgh-based Bitcoin and cryptocurrency wallet and payments platform Zumo. The key to the success of CBDCs is that they exist on the public blockchain so that there is interoperability between CBDCs and the potential to revolutionize cross-border transactions isn't lost. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below, but the whole idea of moving to a more digital era, in my opinion, means that the value of Bitcoin and its mindset is more strengthened, especially when you compare it to something like a store value like gold. Now, Bridgewater's Dalio, or however the heck you say this guy's name, this is the face of a guy that hasn't believed in Bitcoin just yet, but he'll get there, right? I feel like I just pictured Biden's face. He's like, he will, or they will, or whatever, right? Bridgewater's Dalio sees governments banning Bitcoin should it become material. There's 3 key reasons why he says that he thinks that this is going to happen. Number 1, a lack of venues that will accept cryptocurrencies for purchase. Quote, I today can't take my Bitcoin yet and buy things easily with it. Number 2, Bitcoin and other cryptos are too volatile to be considered an effective store of wealth. That volatility also hurts Bitcoin's use transactionally because vendors won't know how much they're getting, Dalio said. And number 3, if Bitcoin or other cryptos become material, Dalio predicted governments will outlaw it. They'll use whatever teeth they have to enforce it. I don't think digital currencies will succeed in the way people hope they would, Dalio said. Okay, so first off, Bitcoin is an ever-evolving form, right? And you can already tell in comparison to the value of gold that it's more easily transmittable. You have a more definitive idea of who owns it, where it's going to and from. We know how much that there's going to be total. There's lots of different reasons for this, right? As far as for the venues that go, we're seeing an increase in that because we're seeing something that is so new. You shouldn't expect everyone to just suddenly be like, yeah, we all accept it. No. I mean, unless it's forced upon you, like if the government comes in and says, hey, everyone needs to accept Bitcoin now, which the odds of that happening, I really doubt it. But again, you never know with things. And that could be one of those things that flips the switch and all of a sudden Bitcoin goes crazy, right? But yeah, so you got more and more places that are accepting it. You got new third-party applications that are making the transmission more easy. Like, for example, when you go and get a Visa credit card, you can get a Visa Bitcoin card, right? So if there's places that are going to be starting to accept Bitcoin for things, boom, you bust out your Visa Bitcoin card and you use it like a regular credit card. I mean, if this guy who's a billionaire doesn't know how to use a credit card, then I think that raises a whole other slew of questions to his credibility. But it's going to continue to evolve. If you're only looking at it where it's at right now, then you're being really blindsided what the opportunity is and not listening to any of the other people in the space that are obviously making gains off of this, and they're putting large amounts of their own funds into it. So I'm telling you, as things continue to evolve, it is very, very likely to a skeptic like this guy, even though he's a billionaire, and there are other billionaires out there who are supporters of Bitcoin, by the way. So just because he's a billionaire doesn't mean that his word is law. That is not what the case is. And that's why we do further research to get more perspectives on things. So I disagree with these statements on this. The volatility, for example, as well. Again, I said earlier, 98.5% of everybody that has bought Bitcoin as of this moment is in a profit. So you tell me, if your concern is about how volatile it is, But almost every single person that's ever gotten it now has it worth more value than what it was before. And you can see historically since Bitcoin started that it has new higher lows, and it's on track to forming another new higher high. We still got to get above that 20K, right? But the new higher lows, that's something that's really a key thing, because even if it goes down, we haven't broken below a lower low point, right? To say, well, like maybe it could go all the way to zero. There's nothing that's indicated that, because that level of support on that bottom line on that curve, okay, I gotta make sure I got it curved right for you guys. So that bottom line, that curve continues to get higher and higher and higher. So it's like, hey, I give you Bitcoin for your coffee or whatever. Okay, so maybe you don't convert that Bitcoin over when it goes down, right? You hold off on it. You wait a while, and now it's back to the same level it was. Maybe you trade it off then. You want to trade it to dollars because you think that's a good idea, even though the value of the dollar is always going down? I mean, I guess you could do that if you wanted to. It doesn't really make any sense either when you say, like, volatility. This is crazy. Anyways, or maybe wait a little bit longer, and hey, look at that. Now your Bitcoin is actually worth more. It's like I gave you $1 for your cup of coffee, and you held on to the dollar. And then all of a sudden, it's like a week later, it's like, ooh, he paid me $1.50. That's pretty nice. Look at that. It's on the board, it says $1. This guy doesn't even realize it, but he technically gave me $1.50. And now I'm making a profit. I'm making an investment on top of this. So it's a win-win situation, in my opinion. Volatility can be good and it can be bad. And so you got to weigh your options with this. And then you also got to look at what the reality is and how the dollar works and the whole inflation system and stuff, right? Absolutely ridiculous. And then the whole material thing. Come on, man. Come on. Get with the times. You got to get yourself some Bitcoin. And while you're at it, let's have him pump and talk about Orchid. Be like, you know what? I love Bitcoin and I love Orchid. And I'm buying half the Orchid that's out there. And then I'm going to put it on a boat, on a ledger, and sink it to the bottom of the Marianas Trench. Where then a small little bomb will explode it and the keys to the access to it are going to be gone. Let's just drop the whole total supply, right? Everybody. It's like Oprah Winfrey. You get more money for your Orchid. You get more money for your Orchid. We all get more Orchid. All right. And the one guy's like, I don't know what Orchid is. And then Oprah Winfrey's like, shut up and get out of my house. I don't know why they're in her house right now. I guess COVID. All right. Well, again, why are they there? Anyways, I have fun on this channel. Again, if you guys have a good time, then don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends. Force them to watch these videos. Literally sit them down, right? Be like, this is our bonding moment. They'll be like, what do you mean? We're just watching this guy talk. And then they're going to see this part, and they'll be like, oh, that's why you forced me to sit down and watch this. It's like I could see the future. I see you, Jim. You too, Susan. What's up, Michael? I don't know. World's second biggest bank to issue $3 billion in bonds tradable for Bitcoin. China construction bank CCB has tapped Labuan-based digital asset exchange Fusang for the issuance of $3 billion worth of debt securities over blockchain. And if I'm mispronouncing things from here and there, guys, please forgive me. Like, I hope you guys aren't really critical if I see something that I've never heard before, and I'm just taking my best shot at it. According to a Wednesday report by the South China Morning Post, tokenized bond certificates will be issued through the state-owned bank's Labuan, Malaysia branch over a period of 3 months. Notably, the digital securities will be exchangeable for Bitcoin on the Fusang exchange as well as US dollars. Trading is slated to commence this Friday. Oh God, that song popped in my head, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyways, this is actually very interesting. So I would keep an eye out, right? We're on Wednesday right now, and Friday can be one of those big explosive days. It's like Monday tends to see some potential huge movements. Friday seems to be showing a lot of key moments there. And then sometimes Sunday evening going towards into a Monday. We can see some movements there. So yeah, even though we're diverting away more from the correlation with the stock market, especially like the S&P 500, and we're seeing that the stock market can do things where Bitcoin doesn't necessarily move in the same direction with it. Like Monday, the stock market, we saw a lot of it actually boosting very high with the announcement of Biden being elected president, right? President-elect. And I understand some of you guys may have different perspectives on that and everything, but we're not going to be talking about that right now. So then as that happened, Bitcoin didn't have this big, huge, explosive growth that day, right? The stock market did, though. So Friday, we might see something really huge coming up. We got really close to $16,000. And if we pass $16,000, that's $17,200, in my opinion. That's looking a lot more pretty. A lot more pretty. Oh yeah, especially if we get a daily close above 16,000, that would be really nice. Let me know what you guys think, if this sounds like it could be a very explosive Friday with this kind of announcement. But hey, $3 billion in bonds tradable for Bitcoin. Sounds interesting to me, baby. Okay, now over to Twitter, and then we're going to take a look at the charts here. Tyler Winklevoss said the smartest people in the room believe in Bitcoin. He linked to an article from Forbes magazine that was talking about a Wall Street legend, Bill Miller, who strongly recommends Bitcoin, right? The founder of investment manager Miller Value Partners has said he strongly recommends Bitcoin at current prices. So, I mean, it's another article in addition to the stuff that we talked about, but the fact that Tyler Winklevoss, who is one of the Winklevoss twins, as you guys may or may not know, he and his brother had worked originally with helping in the creation of Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg, and then the whole movie, The Social Network, talks about this and stuff. But then they got involved in Bitcoin in the very early days. They heard about it, and they're doing very well now because of all this stuff. And very smart guys, very nice, friendly guys from what I could tell too. I would actually love to meet these guys. So just a little footnote in the future. Tyler, if you're watching this video for some weird reason, what's up, man? Say hi on Twitter, I guess. Which, by the way, if you guys want to check me out on Twitter, I talk about a lot of different stuff. I might talk about some game things. I've got multiple YouTube channels and stuff. But my name's over there in the bottom left-hand side, at Atlas Official TV. Feel free to say what's up, hello, stuff like that. You'll see me from time to time over there. And so, yeah, that's actually really cool. Now let's talk about with Orchid, right? So Machiavelli Trader says, OXT alert, something big is about to happen. I have never seen so many big transfers like this in a long time. Some 5 million plus OXT being moved around in the past 24 hours. This is page 8 on Etherscan, over 1.15 million USD alone on page 8. So you just had a couple circles right here, and you can see right down here, there's right there, that one alone on the bottom, 1,094,778. And then right above that, 3,809,058. So he's catching some very interesting things, and it looks like it's in reference to Binance for those. Binance, another one. It looks like from one wallet address to another, one wallet address to another. So some pretty big movements right there. And some positive feedback from this guy. Can't wait. This is the big one. I can feel it. It hasn't moved at all in the bull market. Yes, I know I can feel it as well. I know it will be bigger than the first time it hit $1. 50% of my crypto portfolio is all in OXT right now. I need it to happen more than ever. So this guy is showing huge amount of investment support for something like Orchid. And then Machiavelli responded by saying 100% of his crypto wallet is in OXT, waiting for the big one. So yeah, you know, guys, if you really believe in something and you want to take that risk, by all means, it's your money. You know, a lot of investors, what they say is that you should not invest more than 10% into one specific asset in your portfolio to diversify your portfolio. But hey, if you are full-blown committed to doing something, then man, I hope it works out for you. I really do. I've got my investments across the board on some different things. Bitcoin being a very big proponent of them, but Orchid is my number 2. So I do have a substantial amount myself, percentage-wise, in it, and it's more than 10% for sure. But I don't have 100% in it. These guys are very committed to it, and you know, I hope it works out for everybody, honestly. And another statement he said, which I thought was interesting from Machiavelli, OXT appears to have formed a cup and handle. There is an upswing to 23 cents. If it breaks above this and goes beyond, we have a confirmed breakout. Give it 1 hour to close the daily candle to confirm if it is a breakout to fake out. What do you guys think? Do you think it's forming a cup and handle pattern? Over here, we also have statements in regards to Vitalik is accumulating Ethereum, SNT, and OXT. I don't know the validity behind this. So if any of you guys are OXT fans and you can confirm if Vitalik Buterin, the guy that made Ethereum, if there's any resource material that says that he for sure bought Orchid, by all means, feel free to tell me and share me in the comments down below. I didn't look too much behind this as I was setting everything else up, but this is a statement that somebody else said that kind of caught my eye, and I think I should keep other people's attention on it too. But again, it could be false information. So let me know if you guys have any resource material in regards to that. Another statement says, if you're not an OXT right now, look at this and ask yourself, why not? It's pretty effing obvious. And you can see that it has a progressive movement up from what he's showing. Hoping I can dump my bags from the last time you and OXT shows scammed me. So misconfig EXE, he's not very pleased with how things have moved on with Orchid. And you know, a lot of people have been shilling this for sure. And I try to be letting you guys know that I believe in the project. I see its future. I try to give you guys updates on things. When I do my technical analysis, if you look at my previous videos on stuff, I try to be very, very unbiased on what the facts are that I see in front of me. So I say if it breaks above this level, we should see a continuation up. These are the set criteria, right? And if it doesn't, then you're going to see a further drop down. So in response to this guy, I'm not sure all who he's referencing, but he did reference this guy. He said, AJ from Pixel said, you will have an opportunity to sell your bags. Not sure how I scammed you. I was telling people to buy OXT at 13 cents. I didn't know about it when it was at 13 cents. I would have loved to have gotten it at 13 cents. I'm sure a lot of people would have too. He said, it wasn't just you, others too. I'm just frustrated and trying to learn from my mistakes, like relying on analysis from anyone else. Okay, so if you're relying on somebody else's analysis to make your own decisions, then I don't think that's the smart way to go. So, you know, I think what is smarter is that you take into account somebody's analysis, see their perspective, and then you take the time to see other people's perspectives and what elements that they're using for their technical analysis. So how I've been doing my videos and I've been doing my technical analysis is because I have learned from other people. So you make your own perspective view with this. But if you're just going to look at what somebody else is doing, why not just go do something like eToro? Why watch YouTube videos? Why do any of that stuff? If you're strictly just wanting somebody else to basically make the calls for you, there's websites for that kind of stuff. But if you want to hear all the relevant news and things like that, and the technical analysis and see how my perspective view is, that's a good reason why you should be subscribed to this channel. I try to do more than just the technical analysis, and I try to make it fun at the same time. Still in for $1 this month, and then he responded. It's funny because, oh, I thought it was the same guy for a second. It would have been funny if he turned around. So he said, there will be more gains if you miss out on a pump. Don't FOMO. There will be another pump around the block. To be honest, I myself believe in this project. It'll be successful. It will be successful long term, regardless if we have scam pump short term. Even qualified projects can get a scam pump. And then somebody responded, still in for $1 this month. He said, hard to say. OXT has only ever done two things: pump or dump. When it moves, it's vicious. We've never seen this token have a slow grind up, so I don't think it will do that. I believe the price that it's been sitting at is a good position for the next major rally, in my opinion. Very interesting. And then Machiavelli chimed in once again. This guy is like super hard with this. So it'd be funny if one of you guys that I talked about in these tweets is watching the video right now. Let me know in the comments if it was actually you. Okay, so now briefly, because this has actually turned out to be a pretty long video, very, very briefly, let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. Most of this stuff was actually on the Twitter side with things. So yeah, just kind of a fun little look here. You take a look at it on the 15-minute chart, you can see we're having a progressive rally up after that big, huge red candle. I mean, look at the amount of volume in the 15 minutes for Bitcoin in comparison to the previous moments right there. And you can see that it was on the RSI. It basically almost touched. It didn't touch, but it got very close to being oversold. And so something happened right there. Somebody dumped on the market, but it was quickly bought back up. had a further continuation up, a little bit of a pullback there, and we're already almost back to the previous levels, passing above that 21 EMA, but I don't really consider the 21 EMA on the 15-minute. I look at it more on the daily, and looking at the daily, where are we currently at? Guess what, guys? We are still above that level. And as far as the RSI goes, though, it's been hanging above the overbought level, okay? But as time goes on, that starts to form a new standard. You guys need to understand that. And when we're in an explosive rally, the RSI starts to go more out the window. So if it's reliable on a more consolidated space, okay, to see if any kind of movement that starts to push into a rally. But once the rally is actually just off and running, I wouldn't be really looking at the RSI too much on something like that. The fact that we're still above the 21 EMA, and you can see a big progressive movement with this over that time frame. We've had a good amount of time, right? Still holding on, still doing good, baby. Needs to get above this level right here. So as we are right now, let's try and get above $16,400, or roughly $16,450. Yeah. So if we can get if we can get above that level, then it is looking a lot more promising. As I mentioned earlier in the video, we have another level right around $17,200. And then, you know, another big key level, obviously, is going to be that $20,000 level. So we're making moves, guys. We're making moves. It could potentially have a pullback, though. If it pulls off and bounces off the 21 EMA, we might see a drop all the way down to $14,300. And a further continuation down within this channel that's essentially been formed would pull it all the way down to another major level of support, 11,285. So progressive movement. We're in a little bit of a consolidated space here, moving sideways, as you guys can see, but hopefully we get another big candle such as one of these right here, and if it does that, it's going to be right along that level of resistance. We're going to see how that plays out. And so the next thing we got is over with Orchid. And Orchid on the daily, you guys can see the yellow line. If you check out my previous videos, you can see how things have moved along as I've talked about this stuff. And I've been doing really good with my calls on this, but I'm keeping it to the fundamentals. And you know, so we have a descending wedge based pattern, and it suggests a reversal. It suggests that the price is going to go up, but it has to meet certain standard criteria, one of which is that it establishes itself above the level of resistance for ideally 3, but at least 2 days. And as it has been, as I've talked about, it's gone up, but then next day pulled back. So it's a fake out, and it's like this pump and dump kind of situation. And progressively it's moved down. So until it's met certain levels, as I've been calling it all the way through here, and again, I've been doing really, really good with these calls. In fact, I don't even know if I've missed one on this entire time since it's been moving progressively down with this. Not trying to toot my own horn, but like, again, fundamentals are key, hence them being a fundamental, right? So as it is right now, I said 2, but with the way that this pattern's been so substantially going down, 3 would be a lot more of a reliable circumstance. And so because of that, we had one daily close. We have another daily close that are both above 2 days. And as we are currently, we are still above the 21 EMA on this daily candle. But that is a big red candle, and you can see it did dip below the 21 EMA. Now it has to be able to fight and establish itself above that level, because if it can stay above that level, then the likelihood of it having a further continuation up is much more likely. We're again forming a standard based off of repeated patterns that's shown throughout history. So third day, even if it's a red candle, is still a good bullish sign. And we're very close. There's a lot of suggestive signs that Orchid is going to be having its official announcement with the Windows merger sometime soon. There's a lot of signs. You guys can, I guess I missed one of them when I was looking at my stuff on Twitter, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's right around the corner. And that could be the good little bit of explosive news at a perfect timing too, if Bitcoin makes its rally push that just sends this back into higher region zones. But if not, and it breaks below this 21 EMA, then just keep in mind, guys, that it's more than likely going to have a further continuation down. As it is, this is forming a much more newer standard, and you can see approximately right about here, we hit a high and there were some breaks that took place. This is pretty close as well. I would actually probably even pull it closer to that point. So it's right near the tip of where that took place, near the end of the candle, halfway through that break, even the baseline right there. So this seems like a very strong point. I want to make sure I get that saved. And I should probably delete that then too, right? And so, yeah, guys, if it does drop down, you might see it retest the level of resistance on the top around 21 cents. Hopefully that's not the case, though. But as you can see, even as I'm talking with this, it's having a further continuation down. I hope for the best, prepare for the worst, right? So it might end up having a further continuation down. But the candle is just starting out for the day. You can see how big that these wicks are as well, these long, thin lines. And you don't actually really see many that are on the bottom line. I mean, we have like an instance here, but most of them, they're on the wicks. It's on the height level. So right now, not looking necessarily good for the daily, but let's see what happens. Hopefully it pulls through. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think that it's going to have another drop down again and it's going to have to fight its way back above the 21 EMA and we had to go through this whole 3-day phase all over again? Or do you think that something's about to pop? Anyways, you guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. A very long video this time. Funny, I only covered 2 cryptos, but I did other things. And so constantly trying to evolve the channel and take it in a proper direction. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to subscribe if you are new. Feel free to share this with somebody else if you think that they'll like this video. And if we could get to 50 likes, at least 50 likes, be really appreciated. The bell notification lets you know when we have new videos, so hitting that is great. And I look forward to your guys' remarks down below. Even if you want to say hi or if you want to discuss things, and I encourage other people to go take a look there and see if anybody has said anything, because maybe there'll be something that they have that you want to engage in for conversation too. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.